my name is Sarah with the Ormond Beach Regional Library, and today on this episode of Volusia Gets Crafty, I'm going to show you how to create the cluster stitch. This is the third special stitch that's going to build off of our beginner stitches, and in the end we're going to use them to create this fall table runner. Now mine is a bit longer, once again, than you'll have to make yours, but it's customizable, so it can be any length that you want it to be. So why don't you grab your yarn and a crochet hook and let's get started. Okay, so now we're going to begin with our cluster stitch. This is what it's going to look like. The cluster stitch is basically using chains, the single crochet, and the double crochet from our previous video. So the whole trifecta. It's going to give you a lot of practice. We're going to use this stitch in our fall table runner, and using the double crochet in this fashion gives it this particular look. And this just gives you an idea what the color change looks like if you want to change colors with each row. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. We're going to get started. So to begin the cluster, we're going to start with our slip knot. Bet you guys are getting tired of this slip knot. It's a good thing we had 3 different ways we learned how to do it. Do it a different way each time, right? All right, so to start the cluster stitch, we're going to chain an even number of stitches like we did for the moss stitch. So as long as it's divisible by 2, you're good. I'm going to chain 20 because it's a nice small sample size that I can show you how to work this stitch without it being too long. But as long as it's a multiple of 2, like an even number, you're good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so there's our foundation row that we're going to work off of. We're going to put a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So this loop on our hook doesn't count as anything. It's the first little V there. We're going to go into the second one. We're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1 single crochet. We're going to do another single crochet in the next chain. So get under the loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through 2. Now here's where it's kind of going to mimic the moss stitch a little bit. We're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 1, and we're going to go into the next loop and do a single crochet. Okay, chain 1, skip 1, do a single crochet. And you're going to continue this all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end to show you how to end the row. So we're going to pick back up here. I'm near the end of my project, so I've got 4 chains left. I'm going to skip 1 and do a single crochet like I had been, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to put a single crochet in each of these last 2 chains, because that's going to mirror what we did at the beginning when we started with 2 single crochets by each other. Okay, so 1 and 2. All right, so there's our first row. What we're going to do next to get to our next row is chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've chained 4 and we are turning our work, and we're going to work into the first chain space. Now remember, we had 2 single crochets that we ended that row with, and then there's our chain 1 space. That's what we're going to be working into. Okay, and to do the cluster, this is how we're going to do it. They're double crochets, a whole bunch of them, but it's a little different. So we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the gap space, and pull up a loop. And we're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 only and hold it. Next, what we're going to do is yarn over, insert our hook back into that same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through the first 2 only. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. And we're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert into that same space, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops only. Okay, so you're going to end with 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4. and then you're going to chain 1 to secure it. And that is a cluster stitch. And you're going to be doing these in each of the chain 1 spaces working across our row. All right, so let's go into the next one. So there's our single crochet and there's our chain 1 space. So yarn over, insert into the chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and hold it. Yarn over, insert into the same space and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and hold it. Yarn over, insert into the same space, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold it. When you have 4 loops on your hook, your cluster is almost done. Yarn over and pull through all 4 and chain 1 to secure. We'll do it one more time together. Yarn over, skip the single crochet, go into the chain space and pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold it. We're looking for that magic number of 4, guys. Yarn over, insert, pull up, and pull through 2. When you've got 4 loops there, yarn over and pull through all 4. Chain 1 to secure. So you're going to work in that fashion all the way across in the chain spaces. Remember, you recognize the chain spaces because they're not pulling up a loop from the bottom. See how the single crochet is pulling up that chain loop? The gap space is right there. That's our chain space. That's where you're working into. So I'll meet you back up when we reach the end. So now I've reached the end of my row. I've put a cluster into each of the chain spaces and I've chained 1 to secure at the top of this last one. You should have 2 stitches left, 2 little V's, 1, 2. We're going to skip 1 and put 1 double crochet by itself in the very last stitch. Remember, you'll have your little V over the top of it there. Okay, so that mirrors what we have at the beginning. We chained 3, so it's like a double crochet by itself there and a double crochet by itself there. All right, to start our next row, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And I wanted to mention too, guys, you'll see these clusters in many patterns, cluster stitches. They may call for 3 double crochet clusters, which is what we did. Ultimately, we had 3 double crochets in each of them. Some of them will call for 4, some will call for just a couple together, clustered together. But this one, we're doing 3 because that's what we're gonna do in our fall table runner. So I wanted to kind of mirror that so you're all prepared. All right, so we've chained 1, and what we're going to do is put a single crochet stitch in the top of this last double crochet that we made. So we're gonna go into this first stitch. See the V right next to where your starting loop is? I'm gonna go into that first stitch that was in the double crochet that was by itself. And we're gonna do a single crochet. And then in this space here between that and the cluster, we're gonna put another single crochet. So there were 2 single crochets side by side. Okay, and then we're gonna chain 1. And we are going to put another single crochet in the space between our set of clusters here. So just go into that gap space and put a single crochet. Chain 1, go into the next space between the clusters and put a single crochet. Chain 1, and repeat this all the way across between the clusters. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and I'll meet you back at the end. So I've put a single crochet between my last 2 clusters here. I've chained 1, and remember we started the row with 2 single crochets side by side. We want to end the row that way too. So we're going to go into this space here at the very end, this big space, and put a single crochet. And then we're also going to put 1 into the top of the chain 3. So there's 1, 2, 3 chains. So go into that chain and make another single crochet. So basically what we've done here, guys, is a repeat of that first row that we did, where we started with 2 single crochets, chain 1, and skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip, that's basically what we did. So we're setting it back up to do the clusters again. All right, so then the next row would be a repeat of the cluster row. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to turn the work. That chain 4 counts as a double crochet plus a chain 1 because we have the chains in between our clusters, so we need that chain there. We're going to look for our first gap space, our chain space. So we had the 2 single crochets from the row below that we ended with, and then there was that chain space, and that's where we're going to work our cluster. So yarn over, insert into that chain space and pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold it, yarn over, insert into that same space again and pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold it, yarn over, insert, pull through 2 and hold. When you have your 4 loops on your hook, you're ready to make your cluster. So yarn over and pull through all 4, chain 1 to secure. And that's it, guys. That's how we're going to do our cluster stitch across the row. You're going to look for your next chain space. So there's our single crochet by itself, and then the chain space. We'll work our cluster into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, and then you have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1 to secure it. So you'll repeat that all the way across, and I'll show you at the end one more time how to end the row. Okay, so I'm at the end of my last row of clusters that I've done, and I've chained 1 to secure it. I'm going to yarn over. You'll have your 2 stitches left, 2 little V's if you look at the top of them. You're going to skip 1 and go into the last one. And then you're going to do a regular double crochet all by itself. So it mirrors what we started with the double crochet over here. Now if you wanted to change colors, you could do so. You can watch our previous videos for how to change color. At the end you would do the same thing. And then you would pick up with the single crochet row that we did before the clusters, where you worked back with the single crochet row, and then you'll do your cluster row. So it's a repeat of those 2 patterns. You'll start it with the single crochet row. So you could end off here and then add on that row of single crochet in a new color. So I want to thank you for joining me for this 3rd lesson in our Special Stitches series. Up next, I will teach you how to use what we've learned to create the fall table runner. If you have any questions, please comment below. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.